Hello, everyone. It's Chantel here from Studio Expansion, and welcome to this week's Studio Owner Spotlight. And today you are in for an incredible treat. The woman I'm going to introduce to you is a studio owner from Pittsburgh in the States, and her name is Kathy Morrison, and she runs Kathy's Music. And there are few studio owners I've met who have embraced and fallen in love with their team in their studio as much as Kathy. And what you'll learn from listening to her speak about how she has built this dream team in her studio has allowed her to achieve quite remarkable results, and also to be able to create this culture in her studio that is just addictive, and it creates incredible attraction, incredible retention. And it's by putting the team at the heart of everything she does, which is why I'm so proud and so grateful to be able to introduce to you the magnificent Kathy Morrison. Hello, Kathy. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Hi, Chantel. Thank you so much for having me. It is just a delight to be able to spend time with you talking about one of my favorite things.
It is one of your favorite things. And so, it's so interesting. For a lot of studio owners, team is something that almost happens secondary. They open their studio, usually we're teachers ourselves, we start teaching, and then suddenly we have to hire teachers. But when for you did you realize that team was something special, and when did you really start to embrace that so much within your role?
I was one of those studio owners who waited too late to hire my first teacher. I didn't hire until after I already had 200 students, and I was teaching over 20 classes a week. And it happened fast, and then I realized I should have done it, a year before. But even from the beginning, it felt good. It's hard to turn over classes to someone else, but I think a lot of it is, okay, well, the only way I'm going to be able to accomplish what I want to accomplish is for people to help me. I cannot do it all myself. And so I want to grow, and I want to really have an impact, and my why is, changing the world through music, one student at a time. Well, I need some help to do that. So I love team. I think my past work environments were very team-centric, and so I was comfortable working in teams. Mm-hmm. I think that really helped, that I liked it, and I had some good people teach me how to do that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it's fun working together. It feels good to share some of the burden, if I can say it like that, some of the responsibility. I'm still ultimately responsible, and I really keenly feel that. But at the same time, I like working with other people.
Yeah. It brings the passion. For me, working with a team, it's that feeling of you're not alone, and we're in it together, and seeing your vision for what you have realized with others. And when they take on your passion, when they have that same level of fulfillment, that's just magical, absolutely magical. So, Kathy, it might be worthwhile just to give people a bit of an idea. So you run your studio across multiple locations. How many teachers are you empowering, should we say, at the moment?
So I have 27 teachers besides myself. There's 28 of us who are in the classroom. But I have two lines of business. I run a kinder music business, a kinder music line of business, and I run a lesson line of business. So there's about 13 of us who teach kinder music, and a ton of those teachers overlap into lessons. Mm-hmm. And then I have lots of lesson teachers who don't teach kinder music. So that's what makes that up. In addition, I have 4 other admin people. And so the whole team is 32. And that's a lot of people to keep up with. So I have a lot of sub teams, kinder music team. I have a lesson team. I have an admin team. I also have a group that combines lesson, kinder music, and admin. I call them my Making Magic team. They're kind of like my leaders. I work with them separately. So that's part of the key to success, is working in smaller groups.
Right.
But so we do have 4 locations. And so that can be challenging. I do not see everybody every week. I only teach out of one. So I get excited when I see somebody from another location who comes by, the main one, or if I just get to spend time with someone over coffee or lunch or a phone call or whatever. But
and I'm sure there's so many people who are listening to this going 32, that's a lot of people to keep connected with and keep the consistency across the board, which I guess is one of the challenges that so many of us face. So when you're putting together, when you're kind of thinking about what's important to you in developing your team and training them and helping them to deliver the most exceptional student experience, how did you go about this process? What are the essential ingredients, I suppose, that from what you've learned about kind of designing a training for your team, or designing like over the year even? Where do we begin, Kathy? Teach us, oh wise one.
Well, I think that the first thing you have to keep in mind is how important your onboarding process is.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to set expectations that are consistent with every teacher. And here's the challenge to that is, as you learn and grow as a business owner, your expectations are changing, which isn't a bad thing. You know, that just means you're evolving, which is a great thing.
Mm.
But you do want to make sure that you're consistently communicating expectations from the moment they join your team.
Mm.
And I think it's important for me, let me say it like this, for me, it's very important to treat my teachers like customers. You know, so I treat them with a high level of respect. I treat them with the same care that I would treat a customer, sometimes almost more than, if you can imagine, you know. And these are contractors. I mean, all but 4 people are contractors. But, you know, they are my front line. They deserve everything I have to give and more. You know, so it's all about caring, and I spend a lot of time listening to them. So let me be clear. My first key ingredient is onboarding with the right expectations. Then you have to really have consistent training, whether it's onboarding training, A, this is how we work, you know, B, these are the tools that we have, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
These are the processes we want you to follow. And then lots of consistent communication. I have a weekly email communication with my teams. I have 2 main teams. They get weekly emails about what's coming up this week, what's coming down the pike, some inspiration. But then I really believe in face-to-face. So we get together quarterly with my kinder music team, and we're moving to 3 times a year with my lesson teachers, because we need that. Because I need to see their face. Now we get together. We love technology, so we do Zoom calls once a month with my kinder music team. And my lesson teachers, I don't need to do that as much, but I do have someone who is a coordinator for me, and she is in constant communication. So I don't try to do it all. She is following up with people. If we feel, you know, we can always tell when someone needs some extra love, you know, like they get a lot of new students, and I have her checking in with them. Or maybe they're going through a life change, they're coming back after having a baby, and then we're checking in. We're making sure everything's going smooth. So definitely got to be spending time checking in with people. Well, however you do it. I do monthly, I check in with everyone one-on-one. I have a once a month call with my kinder music teachers, quarterly face-to-face trainings.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you ever do you get an annual kind of like everyone all together?
You know, we don't do that because there's so much overlap between the teams.
Yeah.
I think if there wasn't as much overlap, we probably wouldn't do it. But we have had a few people say, it would really mean a lot to me if we could learn more. And I think the way we want to try to meet that, it's not necessarily by physically getting 32 people in a room, because we found that's really, really hard.
Yes.
But we're taking time to educate one team about what the other team is doing. And
you've just really hit onto a fascinating topic, and I think this is one of the things that most studio owners struggle with, is that they, you know, and many studio owners aren't meeting face-to-face as frequently. Maybe it is once a quarter, but the struggle, and it's real, of trying to get that many people committed and attending on the same day. So what you said is kind of you've seen that challenge of trying to do this big kind of thing where everyone's together, and you've countered that by really focusing on subgroup connection, which is, you know, small groups. How many people are in your subgroups around about, would you say?
It depends on how you divide it. If my kinder music teacher team has been around 12, or moving to 14 because we're just training some new people. My lesson team feels really big. It's about 25. And so we get together with that group about 3 times a year.
Yeah.
But like just last week, I pulled all my voice teachers together in a room, and I said, okay, here's our voice retreat. I gave them a quick little agenda of things I wanted them to share with each other. And frankly, I only gave them a list of things so they could find common ground. That's all I wanted. The whole goal was not to, do this amazing new content. It was, I want you guys to find common ground. Now, I didn't really tell them that's what it was. What I told them was, hey, I want you guys to learn from each other. Share your favorite vocal warm-up. Share your favorite first 2 pieces of repertoire you want for young voice students. Share your biggest challenge. And then let's talk about how we could work together on this summer camp. So, I mean, no prep, right? No prep. So I think that's the message I really want to share is you do not have to have a ton of prep to have a successful gathering, because mostly it's about connecting, because once people find common ground, they'll start doing what needs to happen. They will begin building the relationships that they need to build. They're looking for connection. They don't want to be an island. And if they do want to be an island, I'm pretty sure they're not the right person for my team.
And does that become very clear very quickly for you? And how much importance do you put on that team cultural fit when you're hiring someone? Like when you're looking for a new voice teacher, let's say, can you kind of get a feel? And how do you even kind of factor that into the hiring process?
Well, one of my values is community, and another one is teamwork. So when I speak from the beginning on my values and I hire from my values, they learn really fast that I'm looking for someone who's willing to collaborate. And then all you have to do is ask a few questions. Give me an example of a time you collaborated with someone. Give me an example of something you wish you could collaborate on a topic. Something that you wish you were not doing by yourself. Talk to me about that. And then you learn really quickly who's like, nope, I don't need any help.
I got this.
And then I think, I'm pretty sure that you're not the right one.
Very clear.
It is so important to me. It is one of my values. Teamwork is one of the values.
And I love how you've infiltrated the values across, even this facet of the business, across the training, and how you're consistently giving that messaging of, collaboration, community. It's central to who we are and what we do. And probably that's, when you're running across 4 locations, I'm sure it's that the unity amongst the team that then gives the unity across the locations. Has that been what you found has been so central?
Yeah, it is really essential, because even though we have these team meetings, they often feel by themselves. So we do as much as we can. For example, we have Facebook groups for these 2 teams, and one is just now starting to collaborating more, and the other one for a while. This just happened today. What do I do? Or total win today. You won't believe what happened in my class. I'm so excited. I can't wait to share with you. Or look at this picture. I love when they share pictures. So anything we can do to make that collaboration easier is worth doing. It's just worth it. Because again, I can't be in all these places, nor do I want to be, right? I can't be, don't want to be. But if they're passionate about music and children, I just got to get everybody on the same page. Cannot say enough how important that is. It's my job to make sure everybody's on the same page. But then go and do. Go. Yeah.
I'm curious about looking back on how long you've been running Kathy's Music. How has your role shifted over the years as you've embraced more of this kind of mentoring role, and how has that changed how you lead your business and how you make decisions and how you personally feel, in fact? What has it given to you?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked me this question, because this has been the big shift for me. I am now in a place where my number one job is to take care of my team, which is saying a lot, because I love being a classroom teacher. Love it. But I now feel so strongly about the importance of building my team that I want to spend time investing, mentoring, encouraging, equipping them so they can do the work. I reduced my workload. I rearranged a lot of my time so that I can be investing more in my team. I tend to ask team-related questions first. Let's figure out where the team is. I do a lot more observation, which is another investment of time. priceless. Okay, woo, priceless. And now I'm leaning more into reflection with my team. End of the school year, how did we do? Where are we? What do we want to do next? What did we learn? What are we going to do about that? What do you need help with? And I've been doing that one-on-one, but now I do it as a team. And that really helps people begin to see, oh, I'm not the only one who's struggling with that. Well, we saw a lot of that. A lot of the shoulders just, oh, and I was like, yes, that's what I want. I want you to realize we're all in it. It's not bad that you're feeling that way or you encountered that. It's just where you are. Let's figure out how to get to the next thing. It's kind of like in a family, it's the same kind of feeling. So it's a huge shift for me. And I've always been really team, I don't know, how shall I say, excited. Like I love my team. I love spending time with them. I love training my team. But now they know they're the priority. I tell them.
Wow.
In fact, here's the last thing I said to them in my most recent training and team meetings. I said, I want each of you to get to a place where you can't imagine not teaching here. However you're arranging your life, you may have another full-time job. You may have 4 part-time jobs. You may spend most of your time at our school. Whatever it is, I want everyone in this room to get to a place where you can't imagine not being in this room. And I think that sends a powerful message, like you're that important, because they are.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what I find fascinating, I get to speak to so many studio owners every day, and there's a fascinating correlation between the studio owners who have very consistent retention. Exceptional, consistent retention. Also have a very, very consistent stream of word of mouth inquiries. So kind of pretty steady attraction, not kind of ups and downs and having to kind of put the pedal on the gas to kind of get new students through the door. And when I look at the studios that have that, interestingly enough, I see the link. The studio owners are the ones who really care about the team. It's more than them. And when it becomes more than us, that's when there is vivacity in the business. That's where there is continuity, because it's not just all on your shoulders. So if you have to, shift your focus for 10 minutes, things will still go on. And that's where I think, many studio owners, I get this feeling that so many of them feel, Kathy, the team, it's another thing they've got to take care of, as opposed to how you've shifted to see, actually, my team are everything. If I can make these teachers feel like they are the center of the universe and help them to love every time they walk through the door, to light up, this business is going to be great. This business will soar. And that is huge. It's huge.
It's the best. It's just the best. Plus, can I say, in the same way that we want our students to thrive, when we can help a teacher get to a place where she is thriving, where she is really in the zone, she's got that curriculum under her belt and feeling confident, she's handling the crazy things that are happening with composure, she's really building relationships, and she's figuring out what her life can look like teaching and doing whatever else that is. Maybe she's a mom, maybe she's a wife, maybe she's a performer, maybe she's whatever she is, maybe she's a full-time school teacher somewhere else. Whatever she is. But, how she can make what we're doing important in that space, that's amazing. I feel like, I don't know, it's incredibly satisfying to feel like you're really helping someone thrive at something that's so important to you, and then they're just blooming. You see it on their face. They're smiling. They're blooming. They're. What's happening? This is almost an aha for me. I'm pretty sure it is. They are totally embodying all of our studio values.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
When they embody our studio values, then magic has happened. It's not magic. It's not magic. I say magic. It's not magic, but amazing things happen.
Well, it's effortless then. It's just I think magic, I don't know, I think there is definitely some pixie dust in the air when that type of thing is, when they're at that point where they are just the complete embodiment of everything you've dreamt of, and you see the kids thrive as a result. I mean, that's kind of the scaffold. If you get your teachers thriving, they will automatically lift the whole energy in the studio. So it makes a lot of sense to me. So I know this is an impossible question, Kathy. Impossible, possibly, but you'll do very well, I'm sure. But if you were to distill it down to just your number one tip, your number one key to creating a truly inspiring team culture in your studio, what would you say, what advice would you give to our beautiful studio owners who are with us right now?
I think it's a lot more simple than people think. You just need to lean in. You got to spend time with your team. You need to talk to them. You need to observe them. You need to care about them. You need to make them a priority. And get to a place where your attitude shifts from, this is something I have to do, to something I just want to do. If you don't like spending time with your team, then maybe you don't have the right members on your team. Because when you have the right people working for you, you love being with them. You celebrate when you get a chance to talk to them. And if you're not feeling that, then oh my goodness, please keep looking for the right people.
Yeah. Such great advice, Kathy. And it's so true. You know, it's so true, because your team is the heart of your business, and it's so rewarding. And it's been fascinating watching you in particular, Kathy, and especially over the past year you've been in Evolution, and watching how when you do start to shift this, it's a personal shift essentially into leadership is what often happens. And for some studio owners, it's kind of like, you know, they see their team as their peers and their friends, and there has to be that little renegotiation of that, how you come in and how you lead them and how you mentor them and how you grow this team around you, and watching you step even into greater intention around their expectations of excellence and of embodiment of values and of consistency and of passion has been just so beautiful to watch, Kathy. And I know we're only just even getting started now. But I just wanted to share that watching you to truly create this remarkable team in our industry, you're someone who I know that many of studio owners can learn so much from. So I'm so grateful we had this time with you today. Thank you.
Chantel, thank you so much. I really feel like the work that we've done together in Evolution, I mean, of course, it started before that, just in the SEP, and even in the masterclass, but especially in Evolution, has really given me the courage to do the work that needed to be done. You know, I feel so encouraged. I feel equipped and encouraged to do the steps that I need to do, and I know that I would not be where I am if we hadn't, been on that journey together. So thank you.
And it's beautiful to watch, to think, how you're shifting and how that is then rippling down to your teachers and how that then ripples down to the students and then to their families. I mean, that's what is exciting for me as a studio owner, that it starts with us, but the ripples are infinite, really, on how we can inspire change and inspire, like you're saying, your whole why, Kathy, around to change the world through music, one student at a time. And through your team, I have no doubt you'll be well on your way to achieving that mission.
Thank you. Thank you. And it was fun getting to talk about one of my favorite subjects with you.
Always. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about this again, lots more. So thank you everyone for being with us today. And if you have any questions about team, please feel free to type them in the comments below. And if you've got any questions about Studio Evolution and joining our trailblazing community of studio owners, please do visit studioexpansion.com/evolution. And this topic is so valuable and can truly transform your studio. And we look forward to seeing you roll out more of these beautiful, beautiful initiatives in your business. So thank you for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks, Kathy. Bye.
Bye.